You're watching the 50 States of AR-15 on Big Gunner 81. Brought to you by BATArms.com.
Welcome everyone to the 50 States of AR-15 project. I'm your host, Rick, aka Big Gunner 81. Thanks for stopping by and checking out today's rifle, and we have here the long-awaited for Massachusetts rifle. Now this has been safety checked, no cartridges in the magazine, and the chamber's clear. So, let's tell you a little bit of background about this rifle. And before we do so, actually, I want to thank somebody. I want to thank Jose Jimenez, who actually chipped in a few bucks to help make this rifle possible. Thank you, Jose. And I want to thank the companies that actually helped make this rifle possible as well. Troy Industries, Yankee Hill Machine, LUTH-AR, and Criterion Barrels. Now, let's tell you a little about the rifle. You might be wondering, too, about why we're using a LUTH-AR stock from Minnesota and a Wisconsin-built barrel. Well, we'll get to that. So, the concept of this rifle falls along the idea of long-range, small-bore type precision shooting. And that came to be because of the barrel. Now, one of the goals of this project, as some of you may know, is to try to build these rifles within the confines of restrictions of its home state, where possible. Now, having said that, I'm not an expert on the law or the restrictions on these rifles in any of these states. But from my recollection, Massachusetts might actually have a ban now on AR-15s, but previous to that, I believe they had a requirement of a non-threaded barrel and a fixed stock. Now, technically, this stock does have some adjustments to it. I don't know if that would still classify as a fixed stock, since you can adjust the cheek riser and the length of pull. Now, you could also use other LUTH-AR stocks that don't have those options on it. Back to the barrel. The barrel's kind of what kicked this off. It's a Criterion barrel, as I mentioned. It's a 20-inch stainless steel barrel, but it's chambered in 6mm Hager. Now, you're like, what the hell is 6mm Hager? Never heard of it, didn't know what it was. Still, I'm learning about it. One thing I can tell you, you can't buy ammo for it. I haven't been able to find anybody who makes ammo where you can actually buy it off the shelf or whatever in a box. Just isn't going to happen. Now, if you find someone, let me know. I'd be really curious to know about it. As I mentioned, this caliber was kind of designed around the guys that do bench rest type long-range precision shooting. That's kind of the goal of it. So that's why I kind of decided to make this that type of rifle. So, with the ammo, I haven't had a chance to make any. Yes, make it, because you do have to make it since it's not available. Hornady does make the die set. I've got the die set for it, and they do make brass. So I picked up some brass for it too. So we'll be making some rounds for this rifle and be testing it out very soon. Moving along, underneath the handguard here, we have the Yankee Hill Machine gas block and gas tube. Now the handguard. This is what's really cool. This is one of the cool things about this setup here. It's a Troy Industries carbon fiber 15-inch rail. Now, you might be saying, why didn't you go with the alpha rail? Well, because carbon fiber. Carbon fiber is freaking cool. Especially in a precision rifle build. I think carbon fiber really matches that idea very well. Granted, the alpha rail is awesome too. Nothing wrong with it at all. Now, it's kind of cool how this attaches. It actually uses a standard barrel nut, standard AR-15 barrel nut. So if you have a rifle with a fixed handguard instead of a floating handguard, you could technically take the Delta pack apart and install this onto the factory barrel nut without even taking your barrel off in many cases. So, very cool. It fits very rigid. I was kind of wondering how, not having much experience with carbon fiber in my hands, how much flexibility is like fiberglass. How rigid is it? It's very rigid. It is mounted on here firmly. I'm very impressed with the quality of this handguard. Very cool. Next up, the center of this rifle, we've got the Yankee Hill Machine billet upper and lower receiver set. Very nice, high quality receiver. Now, on the inside, we'll talk about some of those components as well. We've got the Yankee Hill Machine bolt carrier group. It's actually a 6.8 SPC bolt, which actually works with the 6mm Hager cartridge. And what else we got? We've got the Troy Industries ambidextrous safety selector. Got a standard rifle trigger, standard AR-15 trigger in this. Also, the grip is a Troy Industries grip as well. It's got a really nice texturizing for a grip. It's not a rubberized grip. It's basically a hard plastic grip. And then on the back end, we have the LUTH-AR stock. As I mentioned, we're looking for a fixed stock for Massachusetts. And granted, Massachusetts has been really pretty limited. Now, as far as parts availability for certain things. So again, like I said, the project's flexible. We can always make changes to this later, but it's a really nice stock that they make, and it fits the build really well because you can have those adjustments, to get this thing dialed in for your precision shooting. Now, one thing we didn't really get to yet was the sights. We have the Troy Industries sights here, really nice sights. They are not spring loaded, so as you saw, you kind of have to flip them up manually. But once you flip them up, they lock into place with a little detent pin, and you actually, to put them back down, you have to push the pin in and push it down. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But these sights, I believe they're called a dioptic. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. They have kind of a, it's not really a diamond, it's almost like a square, sideways square shape to them. And kind of helps you focus in on that front sight a little bit better. It's really interesting, kind of a cool concept. Again, with long range shooting, we may want to run like a scope of some type. One other thing I did forget to mention too, speaking of Troy, we have their ambidextrous charging handle here as well. Pretty nice little charging handle, feels pretty good, works really well. And I'm looking forward to testing out this rifle. You're going to see more of it coming up when we actually start making some of the ammo for it and going out and testing it out. I'm very excited about it. I love the quality of the parts that went into it. The magazines, these were actually not made in Massachusetts. They're C products, I believe, but they are made in the U.S., so that's kind of cool. Yankee Hill Machine does also offer mags for them too, but I don't believe they make them in-house either. I think they just offer them. Yeah, that's pretty much the Massachusetts rifle. I'm, like I said, really excited to go out and try to test this one out. Really interesting. Never tried a 6mm Hager, and thought it'd be kind of cool to kind of share that with everybody because, these rifles are so diverse and so unique, and you can build them to however you want them, and the 6mm Hager is just another option. Granted, it's not like in a, A2 style rifle or whatever they use for high power shooting. I'm not really sure. Still learning all this stuff, and I hope, as I learn it, I can share that with all of you. And again, when we get to making the ammo, we're going to share that experience and go take it out to the range and test it out. So, hope you guys enjoyed today's rifle, and until next time, go out and have some fun shooting.